Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Spinmaster 6-inch scale Kaiju Slime Battle Pack. This is a Superman vs. Kaiju Monster 2-pack. I believe I got this from Amazon. Spinmaster typically doesn't do 6-inch scale figures. They usually do 3 3/4 inch, which I have no interest in that scale. But I collect 6 and 7 inch, so this stuff caught my attention. So let's check it out. Now, you can't really compare these figures to Marvel Legends or DC Universe Classics, as they're pretty cheap. The regular figures run $9 or $10. Still, has a lot of potential, so let's take a look. As you can see, Superman, Kaiju Slime Battle. We have some action features going on here. Superman and the Monster. Sort of an open pack, you can touch it. It does say slime is included. Probably something I won't mess with, but we'll see. Superman hitting the monster, slime coming out of him. Some action features here, and there is the barcode. Bottom just has more instructions. So with no further ado, let's open it up. Alright, now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. We don't really have any traditional accessories, except there's that bag of slime in the back. So in this set, you get a Spinmaster 6-inch scale David Cornsweet Superman from the upcoming Superman film, and it's slightly different from the single release. And then you get this oversized deluxe Kaiju Beast, which is at least twice as big as Superman. It's kind of basic. They're kind of crappy. I mean, maybe that's too harsh a word. But the Superman figure by himself costs like $9, maybe $10 at the most. It's a really good value for a 6-inch figure. This set, I think, was like $32. So you think that Kaiju Beast, which is pretty big, it's got to be at least like 13 inches tall. And don't worry, we'll measure it later. He cost $22. That seems very fair when McFarlane's, I don't even know if inferior is the right word, but horrible Kaiju Beast was $42. Twice as much as this guy. It does look better, but it's a lot smaller. So the whole point to that is this set seems to be a pretty good value. In fact, this entire Spinmaster 6-inch line is an excellent value for figures. They are basic, so I don't know if I should reward them just because they're cheap. They are kind of crappy, but the value is just insane. These are amazing for the price. In this video, we're going to take a look at each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation, and we'll compare them with a bunch of other figures. Let's go ahead and start off with Superman. So here's Superman, played by David Cornsweet in the upcoming James Gunn film. It's coming out in just a few days now. So, like I said, they're basic and crappy, but for the price, it's an outstanding value. The face, I mean, it looks like a smaller 4-inch figure, sort of scaled up. I mean, Spinmaster makes 3-inch figures, and it's like they just sort of made a bigger version of that. I imagine the articulation's better on this guy, but it doesn't look horrible. I mean, I can tell it's supposed to be the David Cornsweet Superman. You got a little curl up there. I mean, something about the eyes, the eyebrows, and maybe it's just the whole look of Superman, the logo and the hair. But I can tell it's David Cornsweet. The likeness is not, like, amazing, but it's... you could tell what it is. The Kingdom Come sort of Superman logo. A little bit of texturing on the suit. The hands look kind of bad, just like sort of cupping motion, and there's no rotation of the wrists, so they're always going to sort of be in that pose. Seam jointed elbows and knees. Red trunks look a little weird the way the articulation is. He's got this thing on the back, I guess you're supposed to put your finger in there, and then you can sort of like rotate him around, an action feature. A little bit of red paint there. Cloth soft goods cape with the Superman logo on the back, and it's tucked in this really weird way. They have like a plastic... I guess it probably goes all the way around underneath. But it just looks weird. Why would they do it like that? Why wouldn't they put the whole thing cloth straight across and cover all that up? I don't know. Just a bad decision if you ask me. Anyway, like I said, for a $10 figure, I think he's pretty damn good though. Keep in mind, Marvel Legends are running what, like $27 now? McFarlane $25. So, this guy is less than half the price of either one. I would love to see what Spinmaster could pull off for a $25 6-inch figure. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, and even though the likeness is soft, I can totally tell it's supposed to be the David Cornsweet Superman. And here's a closer look at the face on the single release. I actually think this Kaiju 2-pack version has a better face than the single version. And a closer look at the Superman symbol and a little bit of the texturing on his outfit. And now let's go ahead and take a look at his height. It's a 6-inch figure, but 6-inch scale figures can be so many different things. 6.0, 6.3, 6.5 inches. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right about 6.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 15.5 centimeters. So on the smaller end of 6-inch collecting. And near the end of the video, we'll compare him with Marvel Legends and other various 6-inch figures. And for his articulation. Starting with his head, of course, you can rotate side to side. Can't really move up and down at all. It is some sort of like a big ball joint inside of there, but you're really just going to get rotation. Shoulders, also in a ball joint, goes up way more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. Nice range of motion there. Single jointed elbow, goes in about 90 degrees with rotation. They really should have given the wrist rotation there. It's sort of posed. I mean, I guess you can rotate the elbow, so if you want to change the way it looks, you kind of can. He does have a waist swivel here, but it's part of the action feature, so that's really all you're going to get. Legs, completely to splits, sort of ball joints with pegs. There's no rotation, anything like that. They go forward that far, back not at all. Single jointed knee, once again with rotation, and that is it. Basic, but like I said, for the price, it's a fantastic figure. But take the price out of it, and not quite so much. And now let's take a look at his action feature. I'm not really a big fan. It has this sort of thing in the back, as you can see. I believe it's to put your finger in there. And then you can kind of rotate him around. Now when you rotate him around, his arm kind of goes up and down. You can't really see it very good right now. Say take his arm up here, and you can kind of have him punch. So that is really the whole point right there. It's basic. Just the one arm. The other one doesn't do anything. So I guess you're supposed to sort of, do something like that. It just makes the figure less articulated and have his extra crap, and for just a crappy action feature. And now to check out the differences and similarities between this Kaiju 2-pack version on the left and the single release on the right. The single release was released as a single figure, as well as the Target exclusive 4-pack. Exact same figure. So, start with their heads. I definitely think this guy looks a little bit better. Something about the eyes, it just captures David Corrin, so it's a little more. This guy has sort of a blank expression. It looks a little more basic. Now, I'm sure most of the parts are shared, although somehow they got this little action feature thing going on, which does kind of suck. This guy has a normal back, and this guy has these ugly things protruding out. So, I mean, the legs, yeah, I'd say they're probably exactly the same. It's really got to be different in here, although it looks really, really similar. Because obviously this guy's a cut here, and this guy does not. And the arms are probably different, even though they look damn near the same as well, because somehow they got, the thing tied in there to move the arm. Anyway, I guess if you take this guy's head and were to put on this guy, you'd probably have the best possible version of a Spinmaster 6-inch Superman. So, I may just do that because I've got two of this guy, and one of this guy that'll still be different. And then, I don't know. Let's kind of see what it looks like. And you know what? I was right. It does look good. So, here's the single release head on this action feature body. More basic head sculpt. And here is this Kaiju head onto the single body. Definitely a little bit better. And I'm going to keep it that way. This is going to be my favorite Spinmaster 6-inch Superman. So I now have 4 6-inch Spinmaster Superman figures, and because of this head swap, they're now all a little bit different. So this first one here is the single release with a sort of crappier head. The second one here is the Kaiju 2-pack with a crappier head. This one is the single release, or the 4-pack release, with the better head, and this is my favorite one. And this is the action feature one, which is the worst of the 4. And here he is, next to all 3 versions of the James Gunn Superman from McFarlane DC Multiverse. We have the deluxe version with the wired cloth cape on the left, and then both the regular and battle damage versions. There's also an upcoming Ross exclusive discounted version, but I believe it's going to be identical to this guy with no accessories. Now let's look at the Kaiju Beast. It's a really goofy looking character, not just because Spinmaster made him that way, but he looks goofy in the film. Big bug-eyed creature, looks like a Mexican salamander. Enormous, threatening, Godzilla-type kaiju beast. Now, my guess is it's not actually an evil creature, it's just misunderstood. Based off speculation from the trailers and the merchandise, I'm assuming that Lex is breeding these things and then unleashing them on the city. And maybe he's financing the Justice Gang, and then they come and stop it, making Lex look good. And Superman's going to come and expose some of the stuff. I have no idea, just speculation on my part. This guy's made of hard plastic, and he's kind of basic, kind of crappy, but that's the Spinmaster 6-inch line. They're kiddier, cheaper toys. The value in this guy, I think, is pretty damn good. I mean, it costs roughly $20 for this part of the set. So let's take a closer look. Like I said, it's made with sort of hard plastic. Big, bug-eyed monster, goofy teeth, looks ridiculous. All these little tentacles or fins or whatever coming off. His jaw is articulated. Has an action feature. Has several action features, actually. The chest is totally broken up. It doesn't look that good, but it's for the action feature. You can see he's a little bit of articulation at the wrists, but some of the other lines are where they pieced it together, and it just looks kind of rough. The tail was a separate piece when it came together, but when I put it on, you cannot take it back out. A little slime in the back, probably a little bit of slime or whatever. More stuff for the action features. I mean, he looks very basic, but he's big, and he's cheap. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. I mean, look at this bizarre, goofy-looking monster. Bug-eyed, teeth and gums, his nose, just everything looks ridiculous about this guy. But if I saw a 20-story thing like this chasing after me, I'd be scared shitless. Now he does come with a bag of slime. I actually have no intention of opening this. I don't want to get the figure all messy or get the slime all hairy or I don't know, whatever. It does look like the bag has sort of a Ziploc area where you can seal it back up. I'll probably put this on my alien shelf for a rainy day. But there are action features to utilize this, and I'll show you how that works. Now let's check out this creature's height. And that was pretty important to me, because honestly, I kind of bought him to use with the McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. I knew he was going to look kind of basic, but McFarlane's Kaiju Beast is so damn small. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 11 inches tall, which can translate to just under 28 centimeters. And the top of his little tentacle thing's almost 12 inches tall. And for his articulation, so the head does not rotate. The jaw does open up. It's one of the action features. The arms, they go up and down. They move together. And it is an action feature. They can also go up like that. So it's pretty cool. His wrist can rotate. The waist is one solid piece. The legs, they can go forward and back. Not too much, a little bit. So back about that far. Forward about that far. The tail does not rotate or do anything. Those little sort of pieces that are put together, just very noticeable. Doesn't look very good. So, very basic articulation, but the sad thing is, it's much more articulated than the McFarlane version. And so now, for his action features. So, his jaw is articulated. There's a little button underneath here. You press up on it, his mouth opens up. And I think the whole point of this is, you take your Superman figure, use the action feature, swivel him around, have him punch, and then open up his jaw. I don't know. So he has this button under his mouth, and if you push in sort of near the top, it opens up his jaw. But if you push it in closer to the back, push it all the way, it'll open up his stomach as well. And you can see he's got, I don't know, some sort of innards inside of there. It's a big hollow. And you can't quite fit the figure inside of there, but this is where the slime's supposed to come in. So you're supposed to take the figure, open up the back here, put the slime in there, and then bam, it all sort of drips out here when Superman punches and rips him open. Kind of brutal. His innards are just going to be pouring out, but kind of cool as well. Now I've been told the slime really doesn't make much of a mess, but I just really don't want to mess with it. It's not what I bought this figure for. And he has one additional action feature. He's got this little sort of spike coming out his back, and if you press it down, the arms go up. Here's the Spinmaster Kaiju Beast next to McFarlane's version. Now, I was very disappointed with McFarlane's version, but I mean, I'm not going to lie and say it looks worse than the Kaiju Beast from Spinmaster. It definitely looks better. The texturing, the detailing, the paint job, it looks much more realistic. This looks way more kiddie. But it's much bigger, and let's compare the points of articulation. So like I said, this guy looks much better, much more realistic. The head rotates, that's 1 point of articulation. The arms move up and down, and barely at that. That is 1, 2, 3 points of articulation. The waist, that is 4, and the tail, that is 5. And that is it. The legs don't move. He just sort of stands there. And he's way too small to be with the 7-inch figures, which is the line he's part of. Then we have the Spinmaster version. I mean, this guy, I want to say, was like 8 inches tall, and this guy's like 11. Now, the jaw does open and shut. I don't know if you count those articulation. It's an action feature, but sure. It's 1. The arms. Oops. Yeah, it's tied to that action feature. So 2, 3. The wrists, 4, 5. The legs, 6, 7. Not a huge difference, but for the price, say $22, $42. It looks better, but if it was bigger, I'd be happier, but it's just, and it doesn't move, it's just, very disappointing, especially considering the McFarlane one is supposed to be a premium mega figure, and Spinmaster one is what it is, sort of a kiddie toy. And here it is with some baby Kaiju Beasts. These came with the McFarlane DC Multiverse Lex Luthor, and this is why I believe he's going to be breeding them in the film. So it's like the Kaiju Beast goes from being a baby to growing up bigger, and then even bigger. I wouldn't mind having an enormous, really tall Kaiju Beast figure. Here's the Spinmaster Kaiju Beast next to another McFarlane Kaiju Beast. This is their Godzilla from the Superman vs. Godzilla 2-pack. Both pretty freaking tall. Godzilla even a little bigger. His articulation is kind of disappointing, but he's an enormous, massive figure. Here's a look at Superman flying toward the Kaiju Beast, about to punch his lights out and save Metropolis. And here's Superman on a flight stand, flying toward the Kaiju Beast in the streets of Metropolis. Now let's check them out. Next to some of their action figures, starting off with some of their James Gunn Superman movie figures. Here's this 2-pack, next to the Spinmaster 6-inch Superman movie wave. There were 6 figures. We have Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner Green Lantern, Superman, Metamorpho, the Engineer, and if you get all 6, get a collective build of the Superman robot. And they're pretty much perfectly in scale with this 2-pack. It's part of the same 6-inch movie line. And here they are with the Spinmaster Luthor Corp Lab 4-pack. We have Mr. Terrific, Superman, Crypto the Superdog, Baby Joey, Metamorpho, and the exclusive Lex Luthor. This set is a Target exclusive. Next, with the Spinmaster 6-inch action feature wave. These figures are just horrible. You have Mr. Terrific, Superman, Guy Gardner Green Lantern, and Hammer. These action features are horrible. The figures look worse than the regular versions. They cost more, and they're in these horrible pre-posed sort of stance. They do come with accessories, which is nice. Now, the one that's the coolest is the Hammer Barovia. First of all, it's the only way to get a Hammer figure, and second of all, he's the only one that looks normal. And finally, here they are with McFarlane's DC Multiverse Superman movie wave. We have 3 versions of Superman: Mr. Terrific, the Superman robot, Metamorpho, Crypto the Superdog, Baby Kaiju, Lex Luthor, 2 versions of Ultraman, and the Kaiju Beast. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're making Guy Gardner or Hawkgirl. Now let's check them out. Next is some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how they fit in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which ones you can mix them with. Since they're Spinmaster 6-inch DC figures, they're at the 6-inch scale, I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger. Here they are with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and some SH Figure Arts DC figures, and now with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. Here they are, next to some Creole seasoning, and here they are with some Mattel and Mezco figures, then with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures, and here they are with some NECA and DC Direct figures, next with some Diamond Select Toys and Jakks Pacific wrestling figures, and finally with some McFarlane DC Multiverse Superman figures. So overall, I'd say it's a pretty nice Superman James Gunn movie 2-pack. The Superman figure, well, I don't think he's as good as a single release. He has that as an annoying action feature and that annoying thing on his back. But he had a better head sculpt, and I actually made this figure worse during this video by making the other one better and swapping heads. So, thank you for that. And then the Kaiju Beast. Well, it is what it is. It's a big, hard plastic, stupid, minorly posable monster. Now it has these action features which don't really interest me much. I do like the hinged jaw, but the arms and the slime thing, not so much. Still, it is cheaper and it is bigger than the McFarlane version. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say it looks better, because it doesn't look better, it looks worse. But half the price and more the size, I'm just really offended with how McFarlane handled that Kaiju Beast. They could have done a much, much better job. Which one do you guys think is better? Drop me in the comments below. Honestly, I'm not sure. There's pros and cons to both of them. Mostly cons. So if I were to rate this set, I don't know, probably like a 6 out of 10. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but it is a very, very good value. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys real soon.